Hello and welcome, everyone, to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here recording episode 22, visiting Prague, and so much more. I'm here with my amazing co-host, the dude with the tude, the man with the plan, the guy with, I don't know what rhymes with guy right now, but my amazing fellow co-host, Jared. What's going on, Jared?
The guy with the...
Guy with the tie, although you're not wearing a tie right now, but they don't know that.
I can't think of anything either. I thought I'd have something by the time it was my turn, and I got nothing. The guy with the guy who tries. That doesn't even rhyme.
But you do try, so that's not false.
Yeah. If you want to see me trying, follow us on Twitter at Untranslatable1, the number one. If you want to see Chad try, follow him follow us on Instagram at the Untranslatable Podcast. And if you want to try to tell us some stuff, some untranslatables or some other fun stuff about your traveling, email us at the untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. And,
yes, sir.
Tell us stuff. Yeah. Nice stuff. Friendly
absolutely. Stuff. Only compliments. That's all we accept.
Yeah.
Only compliments.
Yeah. Just tell us how great we are. And then go away.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, speaking of which, you could also review us. We never say that, but you should probably review us. 5 stars would be probably better.
Ideally.
Yeah, speaking of telling us we're great.
Right? And speaking of 5 stars, I have an amazing 5-star guest here back with us again, my good buddy Jeff. He has been such a trooper traveling all over Germany. Well, not really all over, but all over Berlin, and now all over the Czech Republic with me. Been fighting through the jet lag. Jeff, tell our audience hello.
Yeah, hey, happy to be back. This is my episode number 2 for episode 22. This is another night here. This could be a last night in Czech Republic, so we're kind of wrapping it up here with my buddy Chad. But yeah, happy to be back to do it all over again.
Thanks again for being back here, man.
Running on fumes.
Right. That's just a part of traveling, running on those fumes, especially when you're visiting Prague and so much more. It just comes with the territory. But before we get into that, I want to ask Jared and Jeff a question. Have you guys heard at all about what J.K. Rowling, she's been in the news lately. Do either of you know what's going on with her?
Is it book related or personal related?
I would say personal related.
Oh, I know what it is.
Okay, what is it, Jared?
She's opening a school.
Oh, I actually did not know that.
That's just a guess. That's just a guess. That's just a guess. I don't.
I mean, that's a really good guess.
That's not news.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we have brought up other celebrities, aka LeBron James, who's opening up a school on previous episodes.
True. Maybe that's
so
where
that's
I got
not a bad
idea
guess,
from.
Right? Not a bad guess. Jeff, you got any guesses about J.K. Rowling?
I do not. Is Harry Potter 12 coming out?
It is
He's
not.
having kids.
Yeah.
It is not, although I'm sure there would be many Harry Potter fans that would be stoked for that. But no, J.K. Rowling actually is now off of the Forbes billionaire status list. Do any of you have any guesses why?
Did she donate?
Yeah.
Very
good, Jeff. Yeah,
okay.
so she's been so charitable with all of her money. Exactly.
Yeah.
She is now not apparently a billionaire.
Put your money where your mouth is, I guess.
Right?
I respect it.
Oh, for sure. You got it.
Ooh, that would be hard to do. I mean, I'll donate. I'm talking like, once I'm a billionaire. I would donate, but I mean, billion is a lot. That you have to give away a couple billion.
Well, I don't think she donated $1 billion. I think she just was a billionaire and then donated, a certain amount of millions, which is still pretty.
Oh, so you're saying she had like 1.3 billion, and she gave away like
0.4,
like 600 million or something like that.
Exactly, something like that. Yeah.
And where is this money going? Did you read that in the article?
Oh
did
man,
you make it that far?
Oh man, Jeff's already stumping me, and we're not even
child
10
labor
minutes
mines in Africa and in Asia.
I don't know. I'm curious, but it's been.
She's opening up a new Nike. Rawlings. Check out these Air Rawlings, bro.
Right. But I don't know. I got to give the woman a lot of credit. One, her clapbacks on Twitter are straight fire. If you haven't seen those are great.
Chad's been reading Black Twitter, everyone. Did you hear that?
I mean, I do love Black Twitter, Jared. You know that.
Her clapbacks are straight fire, everyone.
What would be a more?
I mean, that was in Black Twitter lingo. That was grammatically correct.
Okay, perfect.
It was just shocking.
That's
I was
dope.
surprised.
Okay.
Chad looked so proud.
I gotta keep you on your toes, Jared.
So where's this money going, Chad? Is this money going to
You're really making me Google this right now, aren't you? Okay.
Is it going to like Rawlings charity? Like it's going from her personal account to like Rawlings Charitable Foundation, where then a portion of that money goes to charity.
I'm not sure. I'm sure.
I don't know. I'm not. She's a very. I'm shitting on her, but she's. I don't actually think any of this.
Hold up. I might have just. Did I just? Oh no!
Chad got a virus.
Did I just? No. Did I? That'd be even worse. Did I just? I might have just spread some serious fake news. Hold up. I'm checking. I need to check Snopes before I say this shit on our pod, Jared, because I'm on Snopes right now, and it says J.K. Rowling drops off Forbes billionaire list due to charitable donations. A popular internet meme says Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling dropped off the Forbes billionaires list because she gave so much money to charity.
Chad's getting his news from a meme.
Right, I mean, yes, I am, which is a horrible place to find news. What's true? J.K. Oh wait, hold up. Here you go. What's true? J.K. Rowling dropped off of the Forbes billionaire list in 2012, so this actually is not news. So I apologize to our lovely listeners
2012.
out there. Due to a combination of factors, including the estimated $160 million she donated to charity, and also check this: Britain's high tax rates.
She donated to the government.
What's false? J.K. Rowling wasn't the first billionaire to fall off the Forbes list. Thankfully, I did not ever claim she was the first billionaire, so I guess we're safe there, Jared.
No, you definitely didn't say she was the first billionaire. No one thought she was the first billionaire.
Well, to drop off the billionaire list, but either way, I guess it's not super recent. But to all of our memesters out there, thanks for educating me on one, checking Snopes after I read my memes, and two, that she has donated over $160 million. That's crazy.
I can't believe Chad is coming to the Untranslatable podcast with meme news.
Now we know, Jared.
I'm almost a little offended right now. This is the level of research Chad does, everyone.
I'm just gonna quote Black Twitter from now on and stick to my safe areas.
You might be a little bit more relevant than this 2012 news if you quoted Black Twitter.
You're probably right. Well, anyways, go ahead.
That's the thing I hate about Instagram, though, is most of the things I see on Instagram, it's like, dude, I saw this on Twitter like a week ago. Like
right.
Instagram is so far behind. It's like they're on some sort of alternate timetable.
Except for those amazing Instagram untranslatable posts.
That's true. Those are always fresh and hip and brand new.
That's right. But yeah, so anyways, enough about J.K. Rowling and my outdated meme fact. What's been going on with you, Jared?
Not much. I had a long weekend. It was pretty nice. I went to there's Made in America. Do you know what Made in America is? You don't know what it is? Do you know what it is, Jeff?
I do not. No, what is that?
It's a music festival, Made in America.
Okay.
And it's apparently it used to be in LA as well, but it's in Philadelphia, and they have a lot of hip young rap artists.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes along this street that leads up to the Rocky Building.
Oh, nice.
As it's known. I think that's the official title for it. But I actually, during Made in America, I actually walked into the Rocky Building. Turns out they have art in that building. Did you know that?
I mean, I've never been to Philly, so no, sir.
No, so the Rocky Building is the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and I went in there. And I went in there before it was close to closing. But every first Sunday of the month and every Wednesday, it's pay as you wish.
Oh, nice.
And they got.
So how much you drop, Jared? How much you pay?
$6,000, and
okay, that's fair.
I felt a little embarrassed. I felt like maybe I should put another $1,000, but I was like, I'll be back soon.
Well, when you rolled up with your Lamborghini Booking.com, or your Ferrari, my apologies.
All that referral money. Drop it $25 at a time. Yeah.
So it was nice though. I liked it. And I also like going. I like the idea of going to a museum on my own time too. Because I've been to museums with people that have been there for hours. I've been to museums where people have been there so long that I've left to get lunch, and came back and they were still in the museum.
Yeah, I can't do that. I just kind of like with traveling, as Jeff and I were talking about earlier today. Like when I go to museums, it's just pure sensory overload. You know what I mean? Like if I'm there longer than like 2 hours, I'm like my brain is fried. I just want to like lay down and take a nap.
Jeff, what's your museum protocol regimen? You seem like you could spend hours in a museum. No
well,
offense?
I'm the type of guy that gets annoyed by people watching is fun, right? Museums are great to people watch, but the tourists that are taking selfies in front of everything, you kind of have to throw some bows, work your way through. It gets exactly. But no, I'm not the type to spend all day at a museum. I'm the type to go leave for lunch. So we'll have to do that next time.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend who's also my cousin, I guess, but there are other friends there, and we were at one of the Smithsonian's in DC. When I said I left for lunch, is because they wanted to get lunch in like the museum cafeteria, and I was like, hell no, I'm not getting some museum McDonald's for lunch. You must be out of your mind.
It's a good phrase, some museum McDonald's. I like that.
And so, much like at my sister's wedding, when people started partying at a club, when I pulled an Irish exit, I pulled an Irish exit from the museum. And once I was out, I texted them and I was like, "Hey, I'll see you guys later. Just let me know when you're done." And I, did my own thing.
You know what? You know what's crazy though? Speaking of museums, Jared, I love going to art museums, especially with my dad, because he's such a big art buff. I mean, as you know, you've seen his collection of art books.
I mean, he actually knows how to do real paintings too. He paints.
Well, yeah, he has a Master's of Art from the Berlin Academy of High Arts. But anyways, he can literally
name drop.
Exactly. But he can spend literally, I kid you not, like when we were in Chicago, he went to the Chicago Institute of Arts. He was there for 5 hours. He went there 3 days. He was there for 5 hours the first day, like 4 hours the next day.
See,
and like
that's
5 or 6
different
the
though.
next
That's
day.
different.
Right.
If for that, I think you like, but he also has no problem going on his own because he's looking at like strokes.
Oh, for sure.
Stuff that people like our stupid eyes don't even recognize.
Right. Which is why I like going with him, because I can pick his brain and really I get a lot of cool info from him. But yeah, I just more than 2 hours, forget it. I can't do it.
That's kind of like me when I go to the auto show. I could spend like a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the auto show. Like, spending a good amount of time looking at the latest Honda Accord. Like, oh, so they no longer do the 2 screens now. That's an interesting change. I like that.
And then you're the type of guy that sits down in the front seat and that pretends that you're driving. You're
well,
that
you
guy.
have to. You have to make the noises.
Yeah, you wait in line and
I'm not good at waiting in line because I hate just standing there. I hate lines in general. So I'm not good at waiting in line, but I'll like if someone's in there, then I'll like pretend that I'm looking at something else while I have my eye on the driver's seat.
Nice.
But I can't just stand there waiting because I also don't want to make that person just feel awkward. Like I don't want to like if the person wants to play Vroom Vroom a little bit longer. I'll play Vroom Vroom when it's my turn to play Vroom Vroom.
You got the guy in line just staring at you, right? So I've done it with the Teslas, right? The brand new Teslas, I had to sit into it, but then it's just so damn awkward, right? You got the next guy just staring at you, and what can you really do just sitting in the front seat?
Yeah, listen.
Lines are the worst. Speaking of lines, this happened to me today, which I thought was awesome. This is when I knew my mentor was the real OG. Jeff and I got to go to this really cool cafeteria today in our town. Really, maybe really cool is the wrong word, but it's just like a regular cafeteria that all the teachers and students go to. What?
CC's Pizza?
Not CC's Pizza. But
how good could it have been?
It was really good, dude. We got some authentic Czech food, Czech and German food kind of. But what was crazy though?
What was it? Sausages?
We got this is why I say Czech and German food. We got chicken schnitzel with potatoes. But they serve a
Okay.
lot of schnitzel in the Czech Republic too. So,
Oh,
and we're on the
nice.
border to Germany, so I
Right.
would, because when my mentor was like, yeah, this is fairly traditional Czech food, which could also, I think, be grouped into the German food category. But speaking of lines, which is why I bring this up, we were going to go pay for food, right? And there was a long line at the cafeteria.
They're called queues, Chad.
Oh, sorry. See, that's right. The British English, the queues. Good call, Jeff. Good call. And so she goes, yeah, the queues are a little long. Why don't we like go back to the school and then come back in like an hour? So like we went back to the school, hung out for a while, and then came back and there was no line, and then we paid. So shout out
Wait,
to
you
the
ate the
MVP.
food?
Well, yeah. So the way it works there is you get like a prepaid card. You can swipe it, but because Jeff and I were guests, we had to go in and pay for our food. And then I also had to set up my
So she's
account
like,
for the
let's go
cafeteria.
eat, and we'll come back and pay.
And then just not pay. I think she just ran shit there. I mean, she just really just made her own rules, I think. I mean, when we were by her, we could do whatever we wanted.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know?
She was the
Hey,
boss.
you guys
Yeah.
want dessert?
Yeah.
No, we're good. Get dessert.
right.
You'll have some
We're
and you'll
taking
like
this.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, and this was
People
actually
are scrambling out of the nice seats by the window as you're walking up.
exactly. Nobody messes with her, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it was just really cool though, and it was so nice of her to bring us along. And we'll talk about this more once we get into the segment. But she gave Jeff and I the legit VIP treatment today. Like she drove us all over, like 3 different towns near us. Or I guess 2 different towns, and then drove us around my town as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. But that was awesome. But
When do you actually start working?
today? See, dude, we don't have Labor Day here, like
Right.
you do in the States.
Well, today's Labor Day, everyone. This is when we record.
Yes, sir.
But
working hard on Labor Day.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Only the truest Americans work even harder on Labor Day rather than not working. Oh, you think
sir.
you're a real American because you're taking off on Labor Day? I'm a real American because I'm working on Labor Day,
Yes, sir.
making no money.
I'm surprised you didn't hit that ham horn after that little speech there, Jared.
No.
Not yet.
No,
We're
that's
not there yet. That's
disrespectful.
okay. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, it was just a cool day, man. And we'll talk about it more in the next segment. But Jared, I'm wondering, do you happen to know what time it is, man?
I think I could hear. I think I can hear something. Is that the untranslatable owl?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. So, Jared, I want you to hit us with an untranslatable. I'm hoping Jeff and I can put our 2 brains together and figure out whatever the heck.
We'll do this
you're
Family
throwing
Feud
at us.
style.
There we go. Nice. I expect some really good Steve Harvey commentary after our.
Oh yes! Du-du-du-du.
He's the,
I don't know. I can't do it.
he's the greatest. Oh man. Anyways, what's
So
your
the first-
untranslatable, Jared?
The first one is Indonesian. And by the way, Jeff, you're getting some free polyglotism insight right here. This is people will pay thousands of dollars for this.
They pay the big
Our,
bucks.
valuable stuff
our
right
tickets rival Tony Robbins conventions. So do our messages, actually. Fun fact. So the first word is buaya darat, and I'm gonna guess neither of you know what that means.
My Indonesian's a little rusty, unfortunately, so no.
The literal translation is land crocodile. And I'll give you a hint. It's not offensive, but it is used for it's not a great thing.
This is not politically correct. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's not that it's not. I mean, it happens, whether it's politically correct or not. It's something that does happen. So get over it, everyone.
Jeff, you got any ideas?
Land crocodile.
Land crocodile. But it's a thing that happens. I'm not sure.
Is it kind of like a black sheep or like a person who's like doesn't belong where they are?
No,
So
it is
they,
not.
Okay.
Fish out of water. Uncomfortable.
No.
Land crocodile.
No, this is all too nice.
Can you give us some of your world class examples, Jared?
I think I can. I gotta think of. Let me think. I need a second on this one. Man. I can't think of it. Who's a good example of this?
You can make me the scapegoat, Jared. I'll accept it.
Okay. So, Chad moved to Czech Republic, and he's got this teaching job where he's making, hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. And he's living in this penthouse suite, and he just has, it's just like a revolving door of people going in and out. Chad's just this land crocodile leading him up. Everyone that comes in, he just eats them up and then just spits them out.
Oh, is that a player?
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Really, a land crocodile is a player?
Yeah, it's a womanizer or a playboy.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Okay.
And they said, and according to whatever website I got this from, they said the origin of this phrase is unknown because, on the contrary, crocodiles are believed to be faithful and loyal animals in Indonesia. And when I was reading that, I was like, it seems pretty obvious to me where it comes from. Crocodiles, they're nice and loyal until they eat your face. It's like, what are you talking about? You don't know where it comes from.
That's fair. Well, Jared, I had to, since we are living it up back in the Czech Republic, I had to give you a couple good Czech ones. And I'm going to keep the theme going with the reptiles. And this one is a really good one.
Okay, Chad.
Yes, sir. And this one is...
We are professionals,
it's
everyone.
Czech. Yeah, we are. And this one is Hladit hada posu nohu. And it means to pat a snake with bare feet.
Jeff, do you know what it is? Can you see it?
I'm reading the Wikipedia page right now.
Okay. To pet a snake with wet feet?
With bare feet.
With bare feet. To tempt fate, to do something where you're doing something where you're it's getting hurt or in trouble is inevitable, or putting yourself into a obviously sticky situation.
I would say that last thing you said is a little better. We have a really good idiom in English that we would use. In English, I'm going to give it to you because you basically got it.
Wait, I'm trying to think. I feel like I know what you're talking about.
All right, yeah, think about it for a second. Yeah, it's an idiom that we use. So to pat a snake with bare feet, we would say something different in English.
Go, just tell me. Oh, God,
you got
stupid.
it.
In English, we would say you're walking into the lion's den.
Okay, that would not have been my guess.
Okay, it makes sense though, right? To pat a snake with bare feet, you know. But yeah, so basically,
also when I hear lion's den, you know what I think of?
You think of the adult superstore,
the store by Albion, yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
Just slightly different walking into the lion's den.
Every mall I've been to in the Czech Republic so far, which has only been 3, but every one of them they have this store. I think it's literally just called the erotic store. So it also kind of reminds me of the lion's den. They're just direct with it. But yeah, so anyways, Hladit hada posu nohu, which also rhymes in Czech, which is kind of cool, or at least the last 2 words do. Yes, it is to pat a snake with bare feet, or basically to be in a dangerous situation. But what's interesting about this phrase, Jared, is it's kind of a fun phrase because there are actually pretty much no poisonous snakes in the Czech Republic.
Oh, wow. Lucky you.
Right? So I'm going to pat all those snakes with my bare feet and life will be good. So now, Jared, thanks, buddy. That's why I've been trying to beef up on my Black Twitter. But we got a treat for you today, Jared. Jeff has a couple untranslatables prepared for you as well. So we're really gonna flex those polyglot muscles tonight.
We put everyone to work.
We're going all around the world here. This is actually Swedish, and the reason why I chose Swedish is because I will be spending my layover on the way home. And let's see, it'd be Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I'll be staying in Sweden for a couple hours. I think it's 4 hours. And the word is planka.
Planka?
Probably planka, but yeah.
Planka. Chad, do you know what it is?
Planka.
Well, I saw Jeff doing his research, so I kind of do.
Oh my God!
And I can give you a hint here. This is something that Chad and I probably could have done down in the subway.
So
you heard our story yesterday about getting our tickets checked and all that, and paying for our tickets.
Actually, Jared, this would be you on a subway for sure. Planka. Or a train or whatever.
Planka probably could have done this. Is it like riding without a ticket?
Kind of. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I wouldn't do.
No, that's not quite it though.
But I guess if that's not what it is, then
So it's pretty close. Do you want another guess? I mean, think about after you before you buy your ticket, kind of how do you get into the subway? What do you have to pass to get in the subway?
Oh, like a turnstile?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Planka's turnstile?
No.
All right, just tell me what it is.
All right, so planka, think of a plank. You want to get as flat as a plank, and what you do is you sneak behind someone that's going through their turnstile ahead of you, and you sneak behind them.
Oh, that's good. So like someone that's slow, you like planka around them?
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I said you would do it. Like, I still think you'd have your ticket, but you would totally planka so you can get in there quicker. Am I right?
I mean...
Maybe.
It depends on the situation.
Okay.
It depends on the situation. Not if I'm not in a hurry, but if I'm in a hurry, I'll planka someone, yeah.
Okay.
And I am a smooth walker, too. I could planka someone pretty well.
You're also a fast walker, dude. I cannot keep up with you whenever I travel with you.
I never really realized that until, like, my parents visited me when we were studying abroad. And they were constantly, like, behind me. And I constantly was, like, stopping and turning around and waiting. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you guys aren't old. This is not old people movement. This is, I think this is a personal problem, not them.
All right, Jared, you got an untranslatable for us?
Yeah, I have one more. I have another Indonesian one.
Ooh, nice.
Babi buta, which the literal translation is blind pig.
Blind pig. That's a bar in Ann Arbor.
There's a bar down the street from me called Blind Pig.
Oh, nice. Can you give us any hints or tips?
Some people, when they're behind the wheel and someone cuts them off, it turns them into a blind pig.
So is that like you get furious?
Yeah, I think
road rage.
Ooh, all right.
There you go.
It's when you lash out in rage without any control.
Okay, like a
which
blind
I believe
pig.
equals furious.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so. Well, Jared, I'm going to continue. Actually, dude, you and I are just going to keep doing animals this episode, it seems like. Because my next one also has to do with animals.
I think I'm done with animals.
Oh, you blew it, Jared.
I'm sorry.
Right. Well, actually, no. All three of my Czech untranslatables tonight all have to do with idioms.
Animals.
But this one is Malé ryby taky ryby, which is small fish.
That's awesome.
Sounds great, doesn't it?
That sounded like something from Lion King.
Let me say it for you one more time. Hold up.
Please.
Malé ryby taky ryby, which means small fish are also fish.
Is that almost like it's not the size of the ship, but the motion of the ocean?
I mean, that's a great guess, but unfortunately, that is not the right meaning.
I don't know.
Even small, or another way you could translate it is even small fish are fish. Maybe that will help you.
Even small fish are fish.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't discount people's opinions.
You're getting further away now, buddy. Let me give you an example. It's only fair. Let me try to give you an example. So as you and our audience knows, I am attempting to learn Czech while I'm here so I can, know what's going on around me and try to converse with people. And every day I've been learning. I haven't been fluent in Czech yet in my week and a half here, but I've been learning words here and there, every little word. And I am very happy and I celebrate even the smallest words I learn. Any guesses?
Oh, celebrate the small victories.
Exactly. Yes, this expression means that even the smaller successes should be celebrated as they are still successes no matter how tiny. And this meaning kind of comes from that the The Czech people, it seems, they have a knack of appreciating even the small things in life. And this could have been something left over from difficult times under communist rule, right? So even the small things are being more celebrated. So yeah, malé ryby, taky ryby. Even small fish.
And
are
it's just
fish.
fun to say.
Czech is such a cool language, man. Like I love learning all these different words and stuff.
Yeah.
It's great.
I like how it sounds. I mean,
It's cool.
it doesn't. So far, I haven't heard it work with music. Just all I'm saying.
Well, all right. We'll have to do some songs of the pod that are Czech, and hopefully I can change your mind.
Okay. Yeah,
But
please.
we'll do that later. But now I wanna let Jeff give us a good little Swedish.
Did you already look at it? Did you just look at it? Stop looking at it. Do you know what it is?
I know what the word is, but I actually don't know what it means.
Okay.
Okay. So this is my last word. Vaska. I'll give you a couple hints here. So, Jared, do you remember from yesterday? Arm aber sexy.
Yes.
Yes.
Poor but sexy.
Yep. Do you remember what your first guess was? It was opposite, right?
Yeah, rich but sexy.
Yeah. All right, and then I'm going to give you another one. So here's a scenario. You and Chad are in the bar, right? And Chad says, "Hey, Jared, look at those girls. Shall we Vaska to get their attention?"
Is it like is it almost like like what animals do is like, what's the word where it's like, where you like present yourself? I don't know. But it's, I think as they say on Black Twitter, flex.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they say.
Maybe flexing with your wallet.
You could do that. Does it have to be with the wallet specifically?
Yeah, it's the opposite of arm, aber sexy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
I forgot about the rich part. Right. Oh, so it's flexing with the money.
So
is there a direct translation for that word?
There is not.
Okay.
Hold up.
Just curious.
We're gonna consult Google here.
So Chad does not know. You don't know the definition, do you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, that's good.
And I could.
I've kind of got my laptop turned here.
Interesting. Vlaska. On an unrelated note, I just went through Google Translate and it detected Latvian. And Vlaska apparently in Latvian means waxy. On a completely unrelated note, but kind of interesting. All right, we're gonna try Swedish. Weird. Vaska in Swedish says pan. Or
Pan?
wash. Sorry, wash.
Okay.
It's not pan, but it's wash. Google Translate like I said.
So maybe we're gonna wash wash this bar out.
So it seems like it's a verb.
Actually, you're pretty close with that example. I think, Jared. Wash this bar out.
Gross.
Well, okay. So
I mean,
go ahead, Jeff.
you guys are pretty close. You know,
Explain it to
flexing,
Jared for us.
wallet flexing.
We've washed a bar or two, Chad.
So
That's never
basically, if you were to Vaska, if you would buy 2 bottles of champagne, and what you would do is you would drink one, and you would immediately pour the other bottle of champagne out, just to flex a little bit, show off a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just stunting with the money.
Stunting, pour one right down the sink to show how rich you are.
Yeah. So is pouring it down the drink showing that you're richer than just drinking it?
I guess.
Like
so.
if you're actually rich, you wouldn't drink it. You'd just pour it down. Like, I only needed one. I just thought I'd buy 2 just for the fuck of it.
Exactly. It gets attention, right? Like, who's that idiot pouring out that full bottle of champagne?
Who's that idiot? I'm sure that's exactly what the guy doing is thinking. Look at everyone looking at me.
Like,
They
God,
probably
I,
think I'm
God,
so
I hope this
stupid.
works. That's all I got.
Chad's likes to do bottle service. He loves to have. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm lying. Chad doesn't like bottle service. I got another untranslatable. It's Tagalog. Do you know where Tagalog is spoken?
I do. Do you, Jeff? You should know this
Why should Jeff know this?
because he has a personal connection to this.
Oh, okay.
I do not know. I feel like I should know.
Tagalog.
Now that you said
Where's your
that.
girlfriend's family from?
Philippines.
There you go.
Okay.
It's the second national
Oh shit!
language.
Yep, I should have known that. Oh shit! Yep.
Sorry.
She's gonna listen to this
Putting
later.
Jeff on
Yep.
blast right now on the pod. Sorry.
I'll take a clip of that and send it to her and her family.
Oh my god, that's great. Poor Jeff. We invite him on a guest, and this is what we do to him. It's one thing shitting on me for not posting pictures, but Jeff is just poor awesome guest.
We're trying to be like the real world of podcast. We're trying to stir up some drama.
That's right.
All right, so this is, I probably should have listened to these beforehand. Anyway, let me take a sip of water first, because this one is a tongue twister. Mahirap, jisin jin, ang, nang, tutulug, tulugan. Tulugan. Ooh. I'll do it one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
No. Do you know what it is already?
No, I was just gonna explain myself a little bit. So it's actually pronounced Tagalog, not Tagalog.
Oh,
That's
thank
what
you.
Jeff
Yes.
didn't know, Jared.
So maybe if you would have said that, maybe I would have known.
Okay, well, listen. Now I'm going to go back and take that clip, and I'm going to edit you saying it properly. Or
Man,
edit
both of you are just trying to trick me. Yeah.
wait, can you wait, Tagalog?
Tagalog.
Okay. Maharap, jisinjin, ang, nag, tutulog, tulugan. And Chad shrugs his shoulders. It literally means it is hard to wake up someone who is pretending to be asleep.
Ooh, interesting. It's hard to wake up someone who's pretending to be asleep. What do you think this means, Jeff?
I'm not sure. Maybe someone that just doesn't care. Trying to wake someone up.
I feel like this to me sounds kind of like you can't force somebody to change if they don't want to change themselves. Yeah?
I'll give you a horn on that.
There we go.
Right.
I'll give you a horn on that.
All right.
I'll give you what the people on this website told me. Is while it's easy to tell people something they don't know, it is much harder if they are willfully choosing to not see what's before them.
Oh, all right.
So it's just willfully ignorant to reality.
Gotcha. Dropping some truth bombs on our audience tonight, Jared. I like
Yeah,
it.
take the hint.
The tagalongs. Yeah.
All right, Jared. Well, I'm not even going to say anything because I don't want to give this bad boy away. But I have my last untranslatable for you tonight, Jared. And this also has to do with animals. I guess the Czechs just enjoy animal idioms, which, let's be real, who doesn't? Can't talk tonight. Animal idioms are just fantastic. And this one is v noci každá kočka černá.
Cat is the animal.
Yeah, good call. It means at night every cat. there you go.
That in itself
There you
hurts
go.
me. The fact that I
Right.
just pulled that out
Yep.
was.
Každá is cat. Mm-hmm. So v noci každá kočka černá.
Okay, what is
Which
happening right
means
now?
it means. Sorry, I'm trying.
I don't know.
work
I
on
don't know if
Czech
you were
here,
glitching or.
Yes, I'm glitching. I glitch pretty much every time I speak Czech, Jared, or at least attempt to. Trust me.
Lag, bro. It's lag.
Right. Anyways, this means at night every cat is black.
Okay. Oh. So you can hide. Anyone can hide at night, but the truth comes out eventually.
Not quite. Not quite.
Okay.
Like, for example,
It means it doesn't matter. Oh, it means beauty's only skin deep. So once you turn off the lights, it doesn't really matter what they look like.
you're really looking deep, way more deep into this than I think you need to. Every cat is black at night. So think about it at night. Does it matter what color the cat actually is in real life? They're all going to look black, right?
Right.
Okay. So then...
So is it like I don't see color? Is that what it essentially means?
Nope. Basically what it means is when you can't see things clearly, everything might seem the same to you.
When you can't see, I mean, you made it seem like. I mean, that's pretty profound. That's
It is.
not.
It's kind of related to your untranslatable in a way, though.
Right.
when you I guess if you're being ignorant or you're not willing to see things clearly, it might seem the same to you. So you're not willing to accept things in a different way.
I gotcha. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
These are some heavy untranslatables.
They are. I need
to go cry real quick.
Exactly. So I think, Jared, since we've had such heavy untranslatables, I think let's lighten some things up a bit and move on to our main topic, which is visiting Prague and so much more.
Right. There's more?
Oh, yeah, there's lots more.
So much more.
There's 3 more places in the Czech Republic, so I would say 3 more counts as so much more.
Oh, okay. Okay. See, this is new to me.
Right? So what questions do you have for us off the bat, Jared?
What questions do I have for you off the bat? What is your initial impression of the Czech Republic now that you've been immersed there for a day or two?
It's been a busy couple days. So a little background: Chad and I got into Prague. That was our first city that we visited in Czech Republic. We were there late afternoon. We immediately went for the power nap. That was definitely necessary. Like we mentioned on episode 21, Berlin kicked our ass a little bit. We still had still had to recover. We went straight to the power nap. We woke up and it was dark out. We went out at night for a little bit, kind of walked around. A lot of tourists in Prague is really the main thing that stuck out to me.
Oh, you were in Prague? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the first city that we visited. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hence the visiting Prague. And
so we're starting with much more right off the bat. Oh, wait, visiting Prague is the name of the episode.
First, yeah.
I'm so dumb. I didn't even realize the name of the episode.
Check the board, Jared. Check the board.
I think I'm still just trying to figure out how to spell your city that you live in. I thought maybe.
You want to try it again, Jared?
Yeah, can we test you right now? I think
there's a lot of tourists in Prague.
Yes.
No, I don't want to try it again because I'm going to embarrass myself.
That's fine.
Yeah, pretty overwhelming with tourists, to be honest. A beautiful city. Very very different than Berlin, which we had just traveled from. I would say with Berlin, I think you get a little bit of both worlds with the modern architecture, kind of the modern, locals. I would say, the flamboyant and colorful locals that we spoke about, and I would say Prague. It's tough to really take in all the culture of the Czech Republic, just because of the fact of just how touristy it is. And that was something that really stuck out. Crowded, beautiful city though, but thing that was really off the bat was just the tourists.
I mean, that can ruin even the most beautiful of locations. Like it's not like the Louvre in France isn't gorgeous. It's just you're fighting tourists to see anything.
Also, I need to toss a disclaimer out there. We stayed in the Nove Miesto, new part of the town, which is also very touristy. And then we went to the old part of town, which, I mean, if you want to do some people watching, and if you want to, 1, do some people watching, 2, see a lot of tourists, and also 3, oddly enough, this was my first time walking around.
No one wants to see a lot of tourists, by the way. That's never a thing.
Well, hey, I'm just trying to warn our listeners out there, Jared. And the other warning I'd like to give our listeners as well is when we were walking around the old part of town, so the Old Town Square, by the astronomical clock, and by one of the big Gothic churches there, I kid you not, Jared, we got asked by at least 10 guys if we wanted to buy drugs. It was crazy. I have never been asked so many times we literally walked around for about 10, 15 minutes, and it seemed like every minute someone would be like, hey guys, come here, hey guys. Hey,
do you think you looked American or something?
Oh, for sure. I'm sure it's because we obviously looked like tourists. I had a baggy hoodie on. Jeff had his camera strapped on him, which is a clear dead giveaway as a tourist.
I'm surprised you even went out with Jeff with the camera.
Well, we were there to take
What
some
are you going
pics,
to do with
man.
that? What's that thing for?
Hey,
What are
Jeff's got the
pictures?
camera,
What are
not me,
photos?
Jared. So Jeff is a responsible citizen and is going to take some good
Jeff.
pictures.
Chad's ready to just push you down and run if necessary. Hey, he's a tourist. I don't know this guy. He keeps following me.
Right? Well, hey,
Let's rob him.
hey, you know the truth, Jared. I tested as a tourist, so I'm just
That's
as guilty
true.
as Jeff. So
That's why Chad's now trying to blend in and become part of the crew. I'm not one of them.
that's why I'm trying to learn all these good Czech idioms. I can just randomly say one, and they're like, "Oh, that dude,
Yeah.
that dude just said, yeah."
He's good.
Why do you
he's
keep
good.
talking about animals so much?
Hey, you know what? There's a zoo in my town. Gotta respect the animals.
Oh, I have a question. I asked Chad this a while ago. Do you have a journal? Do you keep notes or anything?
I do not. I do not keep a journal. I would say the camera has been my journal in a way, and in a private journal that we don't share with our listeners yet, but soon to come. The photos will be will be shared. I know we've been saying that for a couple of days now, but we'll hit you guys with the photos. But no, I do not have a journal.
Okay.
Could I just add? I actually think that was a brilliant response. Like, I think in a lot of ways, Jeff is right. Like, photos, that just kind of blew my mind, bro. To be honest, in a lot of ways, like if you take pictures, it is kind of like your own like little picture journal.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. Chad sounds like it sounds like he bought some of those drugs from those people off the street. Yeah. I mean, have you ever heard this phrase? Pictures worth 1,000 words.
Yes,
I have.
I agree. It is a great statement. But Chad, your mind was blown.
It was wide-eyed.
But that is a good point. And especially if you have like are you one to go back and look at pictures? That's my main problem with pictures. It's less the taking of them, and it's more I never look at them after.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not a Facebook guy, and that's the thing too. So it's not really like I really post a big album out for everyone. So you're right. They kind of do just sit on my camera, sit on my computer. So yeah, maybe you're changing my mind a little bit. What do I do with those pictures?
See?
Yeah.
Could you make some sort of collage of some sort? You can make something that you could like put up on your wall.
I can make like a PowerPoint presentation for anyone that asks how my trip was.
Don't be one of those guys, Jeff. You come back from a trip. All right, guys, I got a PowerPoint slideshow for everyone to watch for 2 hours.
Don't follow
super
us on
prepared.
Instagram, but follow our PowerPoint.
Microsoft Advanced. Yeah.
But download our PowerPoint download. And it has all of the great animations, letters bouncing in.
All those transitions, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like pixelated fades out to the picture.
Sparkly borders, yeah.
Oh my gosh. People used to go to town on those PowerPoint presentations back in like middle school.
Used to, dude. I have had students who still go to town on those.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm kind of embarrassed by any. I never use transitions at all anymore. I'm
Me
kind of
either.
embarrassed by them. But people are out there thinking they're Michael Bay. All right.
For you.
You don't keep a journal because a picture is worth 1,000 words. That means you have the longest novel ever. Are you out of your element? Do you feel like you're out of your element?
Absolutely.
Oh, really? Wow.
Absolutely. That's why I have the best tour guide here with me.
You keep saying that. I feel like Chad
Yeah.
is secretly holding a gun to you or something. You don't have to say that.
No, he really is.
I mean, Jared's right.
But I would say
appreciate the compliment. Jared, we already discussed the number one rule of the podcast. Only compliments.
That's true.
I did meet a better tour guide today, though, and that is Chad's mentor.
Oh, he's right. I got to give her credit where credit's
Yep,
due.
she does
That's fair.
one-up him on the tour guide game.
She's also got, quite a few years more of historical and culture knowledge than I do. Just tossing that out there.
Oh, for sure. Are you? Chad famously doesn't like seafood. Are you a picky eater?
So for the first time today, so Chad talked about the cafeteria that we went to. They had this soup, right? This authentic Czech soup, and it
like
was
a
all
beef
right.
soup.
beef soup. Tasted okay, but the smell, I'm telling you, man, I couldn't do it. I think I had 2 or 3 bites. And this is right after the mentor who took us to the cafeteria. She had just made a statement about how she doesn't like wasting food. She's very conscious about what she does with her dishes. She always feels bad when people prepare food and she just throws it away, right? So now I just have this giant-ass bowl of smelly-ass soup, and I don't really know what to do with it. But I mean, I think we talked about it yesterday too. Just I think we had a couple safe choices. I think we kind of lucked out with the schnitzel again today and the potatoes.
And I'll give you this: you tried it. I think that's the least you can do.
I did. Yeah, had to plug my nose. I did that thing, but it was good.
I gotta interject here and just say I didn't feel like it smelled that bad, but to each his own in terms of your tastes. I ate almost all of it.
Your mentor is not listening. Relax.
Yeah. I'm gonna laugh when I come into the office tomorrow and she's gonna be like sitting there with like a angry look on her face and be like, "So, hey, your friend didn't appreciate the soup."
There's a podcast I listen to, and the guy has a saying. Viral on Friday, fired on Monday.
Let's hope that's not what happens.
Is Chad going to be employed? Check back soon. Yeah.
If not, you got to sell your Booking.com Ferrari, Jared.
That's true. Well, to be fair, the wrap has really been getting in the way. I've really dinged that thing up. It's hard to parallel park a Ferrari with a wrap covering most of the windows. So what kind of stuff did you guys see in Prague? Your mentor was not in Prague, was she?
Nope.
She was
okay,
not.
yeah. So
we got there, and so the disclaimer would be that this was my first time in Prague. So I wanted to try the touristy stuff. We ended up doing the Charles Bridge. That's a must visit. They actually had like statues all up and down the entire bridge, which was very cool. I would say maybe 20 total statues.
That's probably pretty close to accurate.
It was, and they were what? Were they the saints?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of them are saints, if not all of them.
Yeah, and that was very cool to see. We checked out the astronomical clock, which was actually under construction, but still, that was another must visit.
Is this all stuff you've seen before, Chad?
I mean, yeah, most definitely. But it's when you're gonna be a tour guide, you gotta see the stuff you've seen before. But I was telling
Chad's
Jeff,
talking like he took a bullet for you, Jeff.
No, I love going to Prague. It's such a beautiful and historic city. But what I was telling Jeff is we were kind of walking around Prague. I was lacking on the just random factoids. I would have loved to like walk by like some old building and be like, oh, and this building was actually built in 14...
Only if we could do a remote podcast where I could just be sitting here giving all you guys have to do is walk around holding your laptop and microphones all around the city.
Perfect. It sounds super convenient.
So this is something I'm curious about. Is I want a comparison between Prague and Chomutov.
Mm-hmm.
Not from Chad, because he's already soured, but from a fresh source.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like I said earlier, Prague is hard to kind of fully understand the Czech culture. It feels a little diluted to me, honestly.
Really? I did not. I mean, I knew it was a tourist location, but I didn't realize it was that. Is Prague a big city?
Oh yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like it's a tourist destination, but it's also like people are heavily concentrated in an area.
Well, let's just put it this way, Jared. Prague is the biggest city in the Czech Republic. So yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a little cumbersome to manage with all the tourists around.
Yeah, and I would say so the Chomutov, it's a smaller town, and I would say it's people are more warm, people more welcoming. It's kind of the more authentic, Czech Republic town. Something that's really interesting here would be actually the colors of the Czech buildings. So when you get into Chomutov, and I guess it's common with a lot of European country or cities, but it looks like a rainbow. They got these bright colors. on all these old communist buildings.
From above or
no. So okay,
they paint the whole thing.
Exactly. So these what Jeff means by these communist buildings is these are all like your stereotypical communist.
Is that offensive?
No, it's no. I mean, they were built during the communist regime in the Czech Republic.
I thought you were like coming in to save him for a second.
No. No, that's good.
Like, don't get political.
Whoa.
Don't get political.
Hold on. No.
The views of Jeff are now reflecting the Untranslatable podcast.
You're gonna make that edit later.
Gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. We should do disclaimers like that next time we have guests on. That is so hilarious.
You had him sign the release forms, right?
Exactly. Oh yeah, of course. The photo releases as well.
You can't sue us.
Exactly.
Yeah, you better hope your boss doesn't listen to this.
But no, so these apartments are all we call them communist block apartments because I mean they're just squares. They're these tall squares,
right?
Usually 8 to 9 stories, sometimes higher than that.
And they all look very similar, I assume.
Exactly, and back in
it's like a dormitory, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
What it was.
I can't speak so much about the indoors because like my apartment is also in a communist block apartment, but the inside is really nice. But
I'm saying in this dormitory in the way that it was assigned to you,
right?
The way it was assigned to you, and the reason it was built, all the same.
Exactly. And the thing was, so when the Czech Republic was under communist rule by the Soviets, everything was really gray and ugly, kind of like what I'm sure you've read about, Jared, about East Germany. So everything was really gray and ugly. So just kind of when the Velvet Revolution happened on November 17th, 1989, tossing that little factoid out there for all of our listeners, the Czech Republic, I think, just like many countries, whenever they have any type of oppressive regime, there's kind of this backlash to do the opposite of whatever the regime did, right? So if everything is gray, now we got to paint everything really colorful. And my mentor was actually mentioning now that a lot of architects and designers think it's a little too much and things are too colorful. But it's ironic because during the communist era, everything was gray and they wanted color, and now it seems like everything's too colorful.
Right. I mean, that's how it always happens, isn't it?
I would say, yeah.
There's always like, oh yeah, now we have this. Like, oh, don't you think this is too much? What do you think about the color? Do you think it's too much?
No, not enough. I'm telling you, it's too much gray. I mean, it blends into the roads. I mean, not all of them are colored here, so you do see kind of what they look like with the gray. Right. And I can definitely see how that kind of gets a little too bland. And then you pair that with kind of the common kind of colder Czech, kind of the resting face can be a little much.
Do the Czechs have a resting Czech face?
Yes, I would say so. And I'm still getting used to it. But you don't take offense to it. You just kind of know it's there.
In the eye.
Well, so we were actually talking about this today with my mentor, and I think there is definitely a difference in terms of smiliness, well, Jared's chuckling right now, but
English word of the pod,
right?
Smiliness.
That's right. Tossing my really speak English really good. Tossing that out there. But no, what I mean by this is I think Americans, probably not you anymore, being in a big city, Jared. But if you're in a smaller town or even a small city,
I still do it sometimes.
Do you
still?
Like
you smile just
yep.
it's like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just almost like.
Exactly.
As a disarming mechanism or like a hello mechanism, essentially.
Right. Or you just make eye contact with someone, as you're walking by.
Head nod.
Right, a head nod or a smile. They don't really do that here. But we were talking about this. But we were talking about this with my mentor, and we kind of all agreed that it was just because it seems to me that the Czechs tend to save their smiles for more sincere moments where you actually smile. Right? So I feel like in America we smile all the time. It's true though. Am I right?
I mean, I get it, but it's like that's not how smiles are not on a reserve. Like you don't have to save them up for when it's something really smile worthy. I understand the sentiment, but the reality of it doesn't relate to that sentiment, in my opinion.
That's fair.
Well, there are a couple outliers. I would say the property manager here at Chad's flat. Super nice lady. Very, very smiley. Her smiliness was to the max.
Yeah, give her a smiliness rating.
It's a 10. So we get into we get into the elevator with her, and she has met Chad before, right? So she knows he does not speak Czech. But she was just going on and on and on. We had no idea what she was saying, and Chad's on the 9th floor. So we were in the elevator, in this tiny little elevator with her for a while.
9th floor.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
All the way up to the top floor. And so she was talking the entire time. And
she's on like the 6th floor.
Yeah.
So it was a minute.
Yeah.
And you guys just sat there, neither of you having any idea what she said, just
I've gotten really good at the smile and nod, and you pause and say, "Oh yeah, and then you smile and nod, yeah."
We had another moment like that today in the cafeteria. So my mentor's aunt, as you say, Jared,
because that's how it's spelled and pronounced. That's why I say it like that.
Fair enough. Anyways, she actually came to the cafeteria and sat down with us, and I told her in Czech, like bon appetit or have a nice meal.
How do you say it in Czech?
Dobru chut. I knew you were going to ask me.
Dobru chut.
And so I wished her, a happy meal, and then she just starts talking to me and Jeff in Czech. And then I had to tell her, I said, "Nemluvím česky," which means I don't speak Czech. But she just kept speaking Czech.
Just powered through it, yeah.
But I did understand one thing she said. She said, "Hezký kluk," which means like nice boy, or I think she said the plural form of it.
Sounds like a great conversation.
Right. But I guess what she, and then my mentor came back and translated everything she was saying for us. And she said that we were so nice and so friendly, probably just for wishing her have a nice meal. And she said she really liked our
probably
smiles,
because no one talks. They seem to have a similar vibe to what you're used to in Germany, where it's like we're strangers. There's not really much reason for communication. Mm-hmm. And so even a simple bon appetit, haveshki huva, comes off as like a, "Will you marry me?" Like I love you.
That's maybe a little extreme. a little extreme there, but
you're a beautiful woman. And
but I will say, Jared, that people here do greet each other quite a bit, and there's a lot of like little nice things where you greet each other, you wish each other like bon appetit, have a nice meal. Just little things like that, I think, do go a long way in any country or culture you're in.
For sure.
Including the Czech Republic.
Yeah. And even in this is my own personal philosophy, but even in countries that are claimed to be standoffish, being nice and friendly can't hurt.
Oh, for sure.
These are, first of all, these are broad generalizations, but also, even if it's true, some dick is not. I mean, even a dick is not just going to be a dick because someone happens to say a nice thing to him, unless it's some sort of special kind of dick. But yeah, no, I think that's just a great lesson in general. It's just it can't hurt, even if they do have a resting Czech face. Maybe you can loosen up that Czech face with some hezký huva.
Where did that even come from?
Isn't that bon appetit?
No, not even close. Hezký does mean like nice or good, by the way, though. So not bad on that. But
hezký huva.
It's I don't even know. You're like me with my damn meme news, Jared. You're just spreading fake news all over the interwebs. No, just for everyone out there, bon appetit in Czech is dobru chut.
Oh wow. Yeah, I was really off. By the way, I tried to look up parata the other day.
Parata?
Couldn't do it. Could not do it for the life of me.
Why not?
I couldn't find it. What do you mean, why not?
Parada, my man.
Oh, I was using a T.
Oh, nope. Now you know. But yeah, so anyways,
do this. Go ahead.
So Jeff and I were in Prague. We've had a full program today. We've been in two different cities in my hometown. We went to Most today, which is a couple towns over, and we need to go there to register my address with the foreign police. just like they also do in Germany and Austria. And then we also went to this really cool older royal city called Kadaň. So I'm just curious to hear from Jeff to see, what his thoughts were. Well, first of all, Jeff, could you tell Jared what we were up to in Most and Kadaň?
Yeah, so this is part of the VIP tour with Chad's mentor. And this was in a 1995 Ford Focus
Chevy,
manual. Yeah. So this just short of the chilled champagne. I mean, this was a VIP tour. She took us on all the back streets, all the local spots, no tourists. So we went to a couple small towns. So the American that I am pronounced it most, but it is pronounced Most. Is that correct, Chad?
Yeah.
Most. So Most was a smaller town, similar to Kumultov, but I believe it was a little smaller.
A
little bigger? Okay, the other one was a little smaller.
Yeah, Kadaň.
So this one had 2 castles within maybe 30 minutes of each other. And it was on the top of a hill. It had a little planetarium. It's just a beautiful castle. Overlooked the entire city. You could see some mountains. The Ur Mountains, is it?
So on one side you can see the Ur Mountains.
Ur Mountains
is where my town of Chomutov is, and then you also have the. She said they were called the Czech Middle Mountains, which are on the other side.
Okay, Czech Middle Mountains.
She translated it from Czech, so I'm sure there's a different English term for it, but that's what
that
she
might
said.
be your literal section of the untranslatable translation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in Most there was this church that we went and visited, and what was interesting about this church is that they had actually, I believe it was 1970. They decided that they needed to move this church, and that was due to mining. Mm-hmm. And so what they did is they created rails, like a train rail. And what they did is they picked this church up, a historic church, and they just pushed it on down. And how far did they move it, Chad?
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
They built rails specifically to move the church?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
How do you just lift up a church?
I mean, you use leverage.
Physics.
I mean, okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. I get it, but I feel like we can't leave it at that. That's not enough of an explanation.
So,
how big is this church and how big is this train? It was
a massive church.
The church is giant. Yeah, it's a Gothic church. But
do they pick it up with a crane or do they pick it up? Are they picking it up from the top, or if you pick it up from the top and you're gonna pull, it's gonna dangle and shit's gonna fall
I'm
off?
just picturing some seesaws and some leverage and kind of just lifting it up. I mean,
some simple machines some levers and cranes and not cranes and
So here
what's the other one?
I got the
ramps.
actual.
That's what it is.
I got the actual info for both of you. So. First of all,
I think we figured it out, Chad.
I think so too. But just to recap for all of our listeners. So the church was moved about 2,755 feet away, and the reason why is in the 60s they discovered a rich supply of lignite under the center of the town, and they wanted to expand the mining operations because I live in the industrial area of the Czech Republic. There's a lot of mining here, especially in the Ur Mountains because of all the ore there.
I mean, there's so much mining that they're living on top. They can't even live there.
Right.
They're on top of it.
Right. So they had to decide. They had to decide either disassembling the church and putting it back together, which this church is huge. That would have taken forever.
So they flipped it up.
So then exactly.
Because
so they
taking it apart
settled it.
takes too long. So just pick it up.
So
just build a new one.
right here, it says,
Duh. Why don't we just pick it up?
Right. So here it said it took nearly 7 years to prepare for this huge and unprecedented operation. The building's pillars and foundation were reinforced, and a circular ring was installed to support the church's circumference. All the structures in the way were demolished to clear the path for the big move, and the rails were installed along the route. The building was placed on 53 trucks, and on September 30th, 1975, it was time to get going. With the help of hydraulics, The church began to inch towards its new location, moving at an average speed of 0.06 feet per minute. It reached its new home just under a month later. The church was placed on a foundation made of iron and concrete, and it took another 12 years to complete the restoration. The church was consecrated again in 93. Visitors today admire the Gothic interiors as well as the story of the incredible move, which is also in the Guinness Book of World Records. So there you go.
Okay. Guinness Book of World Records. As I said before, they've really lost their credibility, but I mean that's some early Guinness work, so I'll give it to them.
We may have to post a
But that
picture
didn't-
of this church
We
just to
will.
show people how large
It's huge.
That
large
didn't-
this was.
Well, that didn't really explain how they lifted it up, though.
Hydraulics, my man.
Once again, this is all. I need to know the process. Hydraulics does not really. I mean, okay, that hydraulics can handle the weight, but how do you disconnect a church from the ground and literally lift it up is what I'm getting at. And I listen, I don't expect you to know the answers. I understand that. But I have questions, and I feel like I'm just letting this go, and I'm never going to get the answer. And this is, you're just like, and you guys just give me things like, I'm the idiot. Hydraulics, bro.
Yeah. And seesaws and levers.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, dumb question. Moving on.
That is a.
What, did someone's lowrider come in and just drag it? Is that why it went so fucking slow?
You know it.
I have to check in.
My Impala can handle this. Let me just jack it up with my hydraulics.
Got a couple horses on there.
What's the name of the church?
Gonna pull up the.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't really. I thought you knew the answer to that
Did
question.
not know that.
it is
This
the
is
16th century Costa Nanebevzeti.
Yeah. And see, Jared, this is the issue with not having a real journal and just having photos. I do not know the name.
It's true. Good point, Jeff.
Did you take a picture of at least like a sign that's what it's called?
Yep. I got her pick. Don't
Maybe.
you worry.
I don't know if I did.
No. I mean. Oh, did you?
I don't
actually
know
take
if
a
I
picture
did.
of
I
it?
got her pick.
Chad's
Okay.
got it. Chad's got it covered.
Oh, nice.
For
Well, then
once.
your pictures are back to being better than
There we go. But yeah, so that was Most,
Writing stuff.
which was really great. The other thing, like I mentioned, we had to go into the police station.
Chad
And-
was summoned to the police station.
That's right.
just a normal day for Chad.
Exactly. But I have to admit, I thought it was going to be a bit of a hassle. I figured it would take a long time. Dude, it literally took like
Fucking cops, right, Chad?
it basically took like 5 minutes. And actually, it turns out the cop was actually from my town, so I feel like she probably like was like, "All right, we're Chomutov homies.
You guys
We're
are
good."
homies.
That's right. So that was really nice, though.
Are you gonna explain what you did at the police station?
I mean, I mentioned it earlier.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I had to register my address
Oh, there you go.
with the foreign police.
Yeah, not an exciting story.
Not really,
Unfortunately.
no. Which is why I left it at that. But then after Most, our mentor continued with the VIP tour to a few towns over called Kadan. But on the way there, she drove us through the back roads, and we actually got to see this beautiful monastery in Most from up on top of the mountain. So
That's awesome.
that was really sweet, and we could also see the river there, which was
Were
really,
there
really cool.
like monks there?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that
I
I,
mean,
know
there
of.
are a lot of different kind of monasteries, I believe.
They're on
Right.
vacation.
Those are just the ones I tend to see in movies. They have monks at them.
Fair enough. But then we went over to.
That's terrible, by the way. I realized that.
This is why we can't have nice things, Jared. This is why we can't have nice things. But yeah, so then we went to Kadan, which is like a couple towns over, and it's actually half the size of Chomutov. But once again, just like everywhere in the Czech Republic, of course, it's got a castle. So
I mean, it's the castle capital of Europe.
yes, sir. And so we checked out the castle, which was really cool. And there's also a really pretty river there. Don't ask me the name of the river because I asked my mentor, and she said it to me, and I cannot pronounce it yet. So I'm gonna play the foreigner card here, Jared. Can't pronounce it
That's
yet.
fair. I'll give it to you.
But it
We'll
was
talk about it next week.
right. It was really great. But then we also got to see this really cool thing. Jeff, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, and I know that I know you want to mention at the end, but there was a narrow road. Is that what you're referring to?
Yep.
Yeah. So this narrow road. Don't ask me the name. But there was this.
I'll give you the name later.
Well,
Jeff.
yeah. So we're gonna maybe have this a little bit of a teaser then, Check, and talk about it later. But it's actually this tiny little. They called it the narrowest road.
Nearest lane, yeah.
The lane is the term that they used. And actually, the way back when, the executioners would actually march their prisoners down the lane.
Okay.
And that's when they would then be murdered for their crimes.
So yeah,
murdered is, I don't know if murdered is the right word.
Executed. They were executed for their crimes. But yeah.
But murdered essentially is what was happening. That's fair.
Hey,
but
when it's with a giant axe, I think murdered is a
or
term you
hanged,
can use.
But yeah.
They're doing a service to their country.
Yeah, but the crazy thing about this little lane is we were like walking down it, and I was like, man, this would be really bad. Like if you're claustrophobic. And then my mentor, I didn't realize this
panic attack right before you get your head chopped off.
Right. Well, see, that's kind of what she said. Like, I didn't realize this was the lane they used to, lead down the prisoners to be executed because so there's two sides, obviously, of this lane, right? And we entered in through the castle. So there's no sign there. All you see is this really small
is that where
lane.
people get led to?
Yeah, exactly. And so we came out the other side, and then I saw the sign, which will lead us to our Czech word of the pod.
Which is murder.
Yes. No. It is. So the name
Smiliness and murder.
So the name of this lane, for all of our listeners out there who are curious and want to Google it, it's Katova Ulička. And Katova Ulička.
No one can. I mean, at least I can't.
Katova Katova Ulička Ulicka. And Katova, well, kat, believe it or not, is not a cat, but it's the Czech word for an executioner. But the other word that I want to say for our word of the pod, because it's a new word I learned today, is ulička, which means a lane. So ulica in Czech means street, and ulička, that K-A ending on there, makes it a diminutive, meaning small street or lane.
So it's kind of like in German when they have like the Schien at the end.
Yep. So we led down. We walked down there, and as I said, as we were walking down, I was like, man, if you were claustrophobic, this would not be ideal. And then my mentor was like, how do you think you'd feel if you were walking down here to be executed? And I was like,
I know.
Right?
The least of your concerns.
Exactly. So that is my Czech word of the pod, though, for everyone out there. Ulička, which means lane. But now I think it's time. This is taking a very, very dark turn. I think we need to lighten things up a little bit more.
Dude, you're lucky we didn't choose my song of the pod. It would have been just a dark, dark road that we would have kept going down. But it was a good song.
Well, maybe another time. So actually, I have to give a big shout out to our guest this evening, Jeff. He's the one who actually suggested this song. So Jeff, do you want to explain to the audience a little bit about this song?
Yeah, this song is called "We Stayed Up All Night" by Tourist, and I thought it was relevant. Obviously,
featuring Arden.
What was that?
Featuring Arden.
Oh, that is correct.
Sorry.
That is the truth. Yeah. This guy.
To see that.
I think this guy is English. Yeah, he was born in Cornwall, England, which I have visited for study abroad. So "We Stayed Up All Night" is very relevant to Chad and I's time in Berlin. And we thought this was a good song to listen to in the hostel and just part of our pre-gaming playlist. This came up, more of a chill song if you guys want to check it out. I do not think we have the rights to the song to play on the playlist, but go check it out.
I don't think we do either.
Yeah.
From what I've heard though, I mean the staying up all night is a quintessential part of being in Berlin. Like that's part of the deal.
Yeah, and that's part of it. And then I think even to this minute, I am still recovering from staying up all night in Berlin.
So Jared, what are your thoughts on the song?
It's definitely like a good like pump up song or like partying with your friends song. I don't know if I'd particularly have it on my iPod just like to listen to in the car or something like that.
Next to all your techno.
Yeah, that's reserved only for the greatest of electronica. But it's definitely a great like the situation that Jeff's talking about. Like if you're doing like a pregame with your friends or hanging out with your friends, I could rack with that, and I'd be fine having that on the background. But I don't know if I'd put it on my personal playlist. But I like it. I liked it.
Enough.
How would you describe the vibe to our listeners out there, Jared?
It's got a slight electronic vibe to it, but it's like it's just like I don't know. I like it. It's like a positive, fun song about us staying up all night. The vibe is I think self-explanatory.
Right, and I think the other thing that really makes this song on the pod kind of self-explanatory is also the title of the artist, right? I mean, Tourist couldn't be a better title of the artist for while.
You relate to that very much, I assume.
Oh, for sure, because I'm not a traveler. I'm solely a tourist. Plus, it's been fun being a tourist with my good buddy Jeff these last few days in Berlin and Prague, Most.
Chad's apparently graduated from tourist to tour guide.
Boom.
The executive tour guide.
Woo, you heard it here first.
That's our celebration.
Speaking of that ham horn, by the way, on an unrelated note, Jeff and I went to this really amazing Mexican restaurant. So shout out to Pepe Lopez and Chomutov. We went there for a few reasons.
Wow.
One, I was curious to see if the Mexican food would be good because as Jared can definitely attest to.
As I wowed.
Well, as Jared can attest to, a lot of Mexican places we've both been to in Europe, they're just not very good.
Yeah, it's hard to find. The especially maybe the Germans and Austrians are not good when it comes to heavy seasoning.
But this place was delicious, absolutely delicious, and they had a bunch of songs, dude. They just kept just blowing on that ham horn all night long.
Oh, did they really?
Yep, reminded us of the podcast while we were eating our dinner.
I always have to tell myself to go easy. Like they're always in the back of my head where it's like this: with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, for sure.
And I have endless access to this ham horn, but I can't ruin it to where no one wants to hear it anymore.
Exactly. Plus, we'll be having plenty more drops to come in the future. I hope you start to get some good Czech drops. I'll have to start giving. You
I need to. They're there. I just need to. Parada's a good one.
Parada.
I just need to. Okay, wait, hold on. Say it one more time.
Parada.
All right, we'll use that one.
All right.
I just need to be more diligent when listening to make drops.
Another one you need probably.
It seems conceited to like listen to something I say and be like, "Oh, that's good."
Right. Right. Another one we probably need is Hezky Kluk. It's like good
All
boy.
right.
Hezky Kluk.
Got it.
But yeah,
good boy.
Yeah. Anyways, so check out our song of the pod for all of our listeners out there. Tourist, featuring who, Jared?
Ardine. Ardine.
I have no idea. But check them out on our Twitter, Untranslatable Podcast, or Untranslatable One, sorry. Our Insta is
I have another question.
Podcast. Yeah, go for it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have another question for Jeff. Speaking of study abroad, did you pick up any British slang while you were there that you either used while you were there and brought back or left there?
No, I don't
wanka?
think so. Wanka. Yeah, all the wankas.
You didn't call people wankas?
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, I feel like the Brits are always down to throw that out. They're always down for a good scrap. Maybe that's one. And all the wankas.
Did it not feel natural to pull it out? Like to start using some of the slang? That's the thing. I think it's easier for people like Chad and I who studied abroad in Austria to use Austrian slang once we're comfortable than it is for you or us, English speakers, to go to England and use like their English slang and be like, oh no.
Well, it's like Q, right? That was a very basic one. It's a very basic
that's less slang and more like a real word.
That's like a
which is also really weird because you say Q, yet it's what Queue, right?
Queue. Yeah, Queue, I believe it is. Queue. That's what it is. Queue.
Yeah, Queue. Yeah.
Okay.
So why?
Same with Segway. That's another weirdly spelled one.
Right. Very true. But anyways, I do remember this actually when Jeff came back from his study abroad. I asked him kind of a similar question you asked, Jared. And I remember you telling me, Jeff, that some of the other people on your study abroad did try to copy the accent. And didn't it like piss off some Brits?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think just being and that's kind of the stereotype with Americans, right? We're drunk and we're loud, and I think that on the subway,
Chad and I have a fun episode about that.
Yeah, we do.
But yeah, I assume that anyone would get offended if you're almost mocking. I mean, it's you have to be careful with how you
you speak in the native language.
Although I have to say I love asking British people to do an American accent, and it is, oh my God, it's great.
I feel
And
like
some
they
of them
get
can do it
confused
really
at
well.
first, right? They don't really know how to go about it, and then they just end up failing.
One thing I've learned about our accents is that it's very nasally.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt.
Because that's always the first go-to for. Because I've heard a couple, non-English speakers attempt an American accent to me, and they always go straight for the as nasal as possible. Seems like the first start
Right.
for any good American accent.
Sadly, I'd say that's fairly accurate, unfortunately.
I actually get hit with the that I have a Midwest accent a lot. Do you ever get that, Jared? I assume that you're
I
from
don't
the
really
Midwest.
get that. No.
Okay.
No. But I don't think I do have a Midwest accent, to be honest with you. Maybe I do.
Does
but-
anyone think they have an accent though? I mean, that's
That's
a good
true.
point.
Yeah.
That's a
But
really
I
good
think
point.
mine. I think mine is more valid than everyone else.
Which is also what
My
everybody
opinion
else
is more
thinks.
valid than everyone else.
Right.
No, that is true. That is true. But I don't say pop, for example. I say soda.
I've switched to soda. You're right.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
Both of you get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
And also, I've spent a good amount of my time in the South and Louisiana and stuff because all my family's there. So that's why I also sometimes assume that I don't have just a straight up Midwest accent because I did spend not half of my life, but most of my summers were spent in the South, and I've been very exposed. Where I feel like my accent's not really anything just because I've had a lot of exposure to different stuff. I definitely don't have a Southern accent. Let me clarify that.
Oh, but I love it when you do a Southern accent. But on an unrelated note, you also lived in Germany at an international school, so you also got a way different type of English while you were there too.
Right. Yeah.
So
Survival English. You got to speak so people can understand you, I guess.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do now is kind of survival English / teacher English.
Right. Which is kind of similar, probably.
Oh, it's very, very similar. There's a lot of parallels that can be drawn there.
Being a teacher probably helps. I mean, especially an English teacher probably helps very much with your being able to communicate with people in public.
Oh, most definitely. Hopefully, though, at some point my Czech will be good enough where I can just use Czech. But baby
Right,
steps.
I mean, that's the goal.
Baby steps.
Polyglot, baby.
Exactly. Every small step is a victory, as they say in Czech. But yes, speaking of quotes, though, I want to lead us into our quote of the pod this evening, which I picked and dedicate this to our amazing guest, Jeff. And the quote is actually by an Aussie soccer player, not a philosopher, not an author, not a poet, but an Aussie soccer player named Tim Cahill. And he said...
Oh, he's Australian? I thought he was British.
No, he's Australian.
He still plays, doesn't he?
Yeah. But he's actually 38, I think. But anyways...
So he's at the end of his...
Right. But on to the quote. The quote is, "A journey is best measured in friends rather than miles." Tim Cahill.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't it?
You guys can't see it right now, but Jeff and Chad are hugging. Another kissing a little bit.
Oh, God. Don't do this, Jed. Don't do this, Jed. God damn it. But yes. So I hope all of our listeners, though, can take this corny moment to heart and remember that a journey is best measured in friends rather than miles. We would like to...
I agree with that.
Right? And we would like to thank all of you for listening to our podcast. We will be coming to you doing God knows what, posting who knows when and where and also what. But we thank you all for listening. check out some of our songs of the pod. We hope you all enjoy, and we will talk to you all.
Thank you, Jeff. Also, by the way, I didn't mean to cut
definitely.
you off right before the end,
You're
but
good.
thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Thanks
It was
for
fun
having me,
you for these 2
guys.
episodes.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. So
I cut you off right before the end, but I had to say thank you.
You did. So I'm going to recap it one more time. I want to thank our lovely guest, Jeff. And I also want to thank all of our listeners out there. Please subscribe to us at Untranslatable1 on Twitter, Untranslatable Podcast on Instagram, and shoot us an email with your favorite untranslatables at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you all, and we will talk to you next time.